All right. Welcome everyone to Pajodquest. Last time on Pajodquest, our heroes set about recovering from their latest venture, seeing to the repair of body and soul, and the resuscitation of their company house, Gint Manor. Rooms were cleansed and plans forged. A conference was held concerning their lost alchemist, Pinkman. The group was split, and shortly, Brutalitops and Vampiro left to track down the wayward orc and teach him a lesson, while Valor set out his ally to request he use his connections in the Silversmiths Guild to find him first and rescue him from his party's machinations. Meanwhile, Quadri, on his way to the Obsidian Tower to meet with the House Medani representative, encountered a long-lost lover from the depths of Kyber. She challenged him to single combat. The duel was fierce, and Quadri did not come through unscathed, but in the end he was victorious. The search was fierce, and it was a race against time in Knavesport. Orcs were shoulders aside, and ground gave way, and in the end Pinkman escaped, led away by the town guard for his protection, as Brutalitops and Vampiro spat water in the bay. Buggy races through town. His desire for coin is too much. He licks his lips in anticipation.
Yeah.
All right, so XP, upgrade your XP if you have some from last session, and make new goals if you wish for the beginning of this session. When Shane arrives, I'll ask him to go through the same process.
Yeah, I'll just tell everyone for posterity, for the audience. Chris will not be joining us this week because we do like 5 episodes now per week, but because he has an exam first thing in the morning. Shane will be arriving late, and Ryan's here, but he doesn't have a microphone. So I'm going to read everything he says, and the only voices you'll hear are me and Dane, which is probably good because we have the most silky smooth of the 5 of us.
Yes. We are actually stuck in a square of mountains. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, we need to find Pinkman's junkie GF and watch her OD without helping till he breaks to the point that he just submits to us at this point, boys.
Okay, Ryan, I'm not going to read every dumb thing that you say that's off to the side, or we're never going to get anything done. And I'm not going to interrupt Dane. I'm going to read everything that Quadri says. How about that? I can't handle the truth. All right. So, I'm trying to remember now. Dane, did we ever end up figuring out exactly what happened with me and Vampiro? Did we get, washed away? Or are we,
You didn't get washed away. You were just in the bay, and you could get out back by getting back on the docks. So I'll start with, I guess, both people's perspective, because you can see on the map here that Quadri's over here, and Brutalitops is over here. So the first to see an event, I guess, would be Quadri. Quadri stands as as Beggy races past him, smashing into the Obsidian Tower and disappearing up the stairs. Shortly, he races back down and past Quadri toward where Brutalitops is. It jumps into the water and gobbles up Vampiro as you watch, running across the water extremely quickly, making a U-turn and racing back toward Quadri.
I'm gonna follow Baggy. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I thought we got past this eating people thing.
Apparently not.
So yeah, I'll follow him back towards Obsidian Tower because Pinkman Super got away. Nothing seems to go right today.
Thankfully, today is no longer the. Actually, no, it is still today technically.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah,
it's still technically.
Brutalitops, I have a goal to find Pinkman. Where is he? What happened? Oh, are we back together already?
Brutalitops, I guess, follows the trail of Baggy, which is like a bunch of wet footprints until you reach the outside of the Obsidian Tower, where Quadri is currently looking around dumbfounded at what just occurred. A bunch of guards are racing out of the tower, like a bunch of a disturbed hornet's nest, looking for the culprit. I assume that's what Quadri would say to Brutalitops when he arrived.
He got away. Nothing seems to be going right today. And Vampiro got eaten by Baggy, so that's what we're up to. Makes me so bad. I really wish I could engage in one-on-one combat with somebody. And if somebody else got to do it instead of me, I'd be so upset. How did you spend your day, Quadri? I'm so glad that we have this dank music to listen to while we wait for the types. It makes it like a little more bearable. Like, man, Pinkman got away, and now my friend seems to be just typing at me. But like, hey, Lindblom, nothing seems to be going right today. Dear boy, Minotaur, large man, child boy, one does not simply get away. Remember, nothing seems to be going right today as per Valor's card. Yes. Yes, yes. We need to make the day, I think. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. So go get Pinkman. Find him. Oh, I totally already found him. But he got away. I have special skills. Right. So I'd love to, but we have a meeting in like 10 minutes upstairs in the Obsidian Tower. That's why I came here afterwards. I'm going to the meeting, you dolt. We're both going to the meeting. You can't go by yourself. I can't find Pinkman by myself. He got away.
It's like Brian's like, go away.
How good of a negotiator are you? Aggressively mediocre, depending on the type of to good, depending on if I'm allowed to use intimidation or not. And that blasted treasure chest just ate our diplomat. Yeah. Wait, did he? Okay, I guess he that's fine. He does that. Yeah. But we're both gonna go to the meeting. I'm just gonna push past him without a word and head upstairs. So you're going to ignore the fugitive? Who knows our names? Identities? He doesn't know our real names. We'll find him later, okay? That should work out well for all of us. Let's go. He's not a fugitive. We liberated him and then he just got super racist and we're like, fuck that guy. I never actually fought him. We just were like, hey, and then he got away. So we haven't actually done anything illegal. Yeah, but he can't really, like, nothing's gonna come back to bite us. Other than burning the house down. He doesn't know about any of that, dude. He was gone before that. No, he doesn't know any of that. The murdering thing, maybe. No, he was knocked out too. No.
And the murdering wouldn't matter. It was kobolds.
Nobody gives a fuck about kobolds.
Feral kobolds. Kobolds, like normal kobolds, like citizen kobolds, do matter.
Oh, I didn't even know there were. I thought they were all just feral. But perfect.
No. In Eberron, there are good of all races because alignment is variable and flexible.
What does that do if our reputation is ruined? What does that do to our show, my man? Think of the performance, weird adventurers, legends. I'm sure that we'll cross paths with Pinkman again. This man paints a dark tale. So instead, we need to find him and end him. Like always. Jesus, we need Shane here, like, immediately. We are getting dark without him. I have a feeling that we will be able to come across Pinkman again. His guard is up right now. We wait for a proper opportunity to strike.
So, you don't really, obviously, neither of you know what Valor wanted with him. Like, if he was going to, like, kick him out of the city or take him to a safe house. You're not sure, obviously. So...
I don't think I know that Valor was involved, right? I just know that there were some guards looking, but nobody used Valor's name.
I believe I had you roll insight, and it was high enough that you sort of figured it out.
Oh, okay. I think that what I was doing was like, or I don't think I knew it directly. I think that I was able to go there faster because I figured that Valor would be up to something, but I don't think I have any proof. Yeah, that was what it was. I remember.
You don't have any proof. You don't know for sure. You don't have any proof.
Yeah, and I can't hold it against him. That's in his nature. I'm sure that we've had lovers' quarrels like that before over our many years of friendship.
Probably.
So, we'll
I'm surprised he hasn't given you orders yet as your superior.
Well, I mean, this is like one of those, like, we've saved each other's lives enough things, I'm sure. Whether Shane likes it or not. So we'll deal with the Pinkman thing later. Right now, we don't want to be homeless, so that's more important than, like, a few people think that we're dicks. So I'll go up to the meeting. All
right, Quadri, are you done arguing with them, or do you want to, like, take it to the next level and be like, fuck you? Here's a roll combat.
Quadri instantly begins to limp and pretends to be cripple. Lynn prep for the meeting. Okay. Here, I'll carry him in so that he like I'll help him get up the stairs so that he doesn't look like he's able to get up on its own. He's going to be playing the poor, homeless, broke, crippled, creative performer. Yeah.
Okay. Indeed, Quadri is actually hurting a lot. If you wanted to recover from your injuries, you could take an hour rest. However, you don't really have enough time before the actual meeting to do that, so it won't look that it won't be that difficult for you to play the cripple since you're full of holes right now from rapier stabs.
He did get a little bit fucked up, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like at 3 HP or something. Good job.
Oh, he performed the fuck out of that.
Indeed.
My
So
man Quadri.
I'll take that roll into account for the entire encounter up here. So obviously the Obsidian Tower is quite a large establishment. Many floors. It is partially owned by House Medani. Basically like the lower half. The upper half is owned by some of the more high-end nobles and some other organizations that are not worth describing. So you are essentially, there's a very confused receptionist who had previously been basically talking to Valor about the appointment. When you guys show up and insist that you are here for the appointment, she's very confused, but she was told to expect 4 individuals of various descriptions. So you fit the descriptions of at least 2 of those.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be easily mistaken for anybody else, so I think that this should be relatively believable.
Neither would Quadri, honestly.
Yeah, no, those 6 shades, one of a kind.
And yes, also the fact that Smurf and Evelyn are not very common. So you are sat to wait for a time until a half-elf in very fancy armor, you can see it right here, that is Baron Trelib de Medani of Rote. I'll wait for Ryan.
Fancier the armor, the bigger the ego, they say.
To be clear, if you Quadri or Ryan, sorry, if you're saying stuff out loud, you should put it in quotation marks just so we know the difference when you're typing as well. Just yeah. Useful thing.
That's a good call. Ryan's new to the having to type his way out of things. But that's okay. I feel like his armor is compensated for something. No, I think quotation marks means that Quadri is talking. I think that outside of quotation marks means that offhanded comments by you. There he goes. Quadri was not the one saying KK. That was Ryan.
Indeed.
Fucking nailed it.
So, good enough. Baron Trelib de Medani of Rote approaches. I have to make a character thingy for him. 1 second.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm going to run and grab a drink real quick. It's going to be like 5 seconds because the fridge is right over there. I chose my time well. You, high elf. I get that if you're a big deal. Take us to our meeting now. We have no time for small talk and can't see we are in a life or death situation right now. I'm glad that he picked his moment.
The half elf.
He said high elf. Ryan, this is not Skyrim, you idiot. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, that went well. Sorry, half-elf, I can't tell with you pointy-eared types. You know what? Maybe we should have just blown off the meeting and waited for Shane to get casual racism.
You're lucky that Baron Trelib de Medani of Rote has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
By his title, you didn't think so, but hey, 1 second.
No, you really wouldn't think so, but geez, I didn't think we'd ever end up in a situation where I'm the one who should be doing the talking.
The half-elf gives you a rather tall eyebrow and looks slightly amused. And you evil gnomes always get to have all the fun. If I could insult nobility on a daily basis, I would be far less bored. Come. I thought there was another with you, but what the ells?
Yeah, I apologize for my friend's poor manners. Rest assured that we don't always let him talk this way, but he
has high charisma even.
Yeah, it's easy to get a bit of a god complex when you have a giant blue minotaur to protect you, but he shouldn't push his friendship because one day maybe he'll ask a little too much of me. I say like a wink wink nudge nudge towards the Baron, like a you know what the fuck's up.
Obviously, by their sigil, you can tell that they're kind of a weird guild.
Yeah. I don't know. I like both of them so far. Oh my goodness, a pointy-eared with a set of wits. I've done seen Kyber freeze over, but no, there is nobody else coming. It is just us. You see, we are very busy people because that's what happens when you are important, grand, and amazing like us. Yeah. I'll just sigh, like the way that actual Ryan sighs when I make terrible jokes and say, which way to the meeting room? He's making me be responsible when you make terrible. So Quadri just says the word "make" in there. Ryan, you used quotation marks wrong, you idiot. Quadri is Deadpool. Okay. Oh, okay, perfect. Quadri can talk to Dane the person. I love it. Quadri's aware that he's actually just a character in a game. This way. All right. So yeah, I suppose we'll follow him to where he's going.
Indeed. So this is actually the person you're meeting.
Yeah, I figured.
He takes you through the various back hallways to a rather odd office. Basically, their sigils are gold. I don't know what that is. I think it's a salamander and the eyes of the beholder. Essentially, strung about these hallways are various trophies. There are basically like 7 different beholder eyes encased in glass on little pedestals as you walk. And as you enter, you can see that in a large cage in a corner is one of these pet salamanders as well. It's basically, as soon as you enter, it belches fire, but the magical cage essentially keeps it contained, so all is well. He invites you to sit at the desk.
I do so, setting Quadri down on the floor. Nice rug you have here, I must say.
Oh, you like it? It's from the scale Dulgaunt. I hear the Swift Neblin keep them as pets. He's throwing back the insults, obviously.
Yeah. I imagine we could roll your body up in this pretty easily. Hey, Brute, did I mention my friend's here? Its name is Brutalitops. Yeah, you know. Can you believe it's actually worse than it sounds? Rolling intimidation and failing miserably. Sorry, not to overstep my bounds, Dane. I'm just assuming that an 8 isn't going to cut it.
It isn't obviously going to cut it.
All right. Giving a slightly too hard to pat on Quadri's shoulders, I say, enough with these pleasantries. You're a busy man, so I won't keep you any longer than I have to. You've got a job for us, and we are men with very specific sets of skills. So how can I be of service to you today, sir? Also, I just have to say, Ryan, I think we're totally nailing this good cop, bad cop routine. I mean, he's probably making me more likable when I don't actually have any skills in persuasion, so... As always, I have to. Yeah. Hate me, love you, except for them. They really screw you up. Then they trust you, and then you kill them. He chuckles gaily. Oh, sorry, that's yours. Go for it, Dane.
He chuckles gaily. I rather hope the Grey One can recover from his wounds quickly. And though you've met me without your friends, I recommend you pursue the test with a full party. He carries on, and I'm going to abstract essentially what he's going to tell you. So, basically, the Baron explains that through Alyssa, essentially, the guild has taken on the task of extracting the debt from you, actually, and specifically from, I guess, the estate of Gint Manor. He was also informed that you are essentially experienced adventurers, that you're fairly strong, and that they need something to be done. And if you complete this task, both the first and possibly a second stage yet to be determined, you will have your debt scored, like he said before. So anyway, he gets to the point. There is a university in Rote. It is known as Moorgrave University. They have had, one second. They have had a contract by Moorgrave University handed to them, and that is to do an investigation of one of the professors, or one of the sages, I guess is another word for them. So your task is basically to enter the Moorgrave University grounds to discover what an archdruid and tenured professor has been covertly researching. They have reason to believe that the research involves dangerous magical creatures that most would know as mage-bred animals. They're not sure exactly what this druid is doing with mage-bred animals. However, they may pose a threat to the city, and that's why they're sending someone in to investigate. This professor is known as someone who is basically wily enough that if the university has not been able to convince them to essentially give up the goods, and they're calling on House Medani to investigate. Now, if you are caught, there's nothing to be worried about. You will be exonerated of any charge. Though, of course, your arrangement with the guild would be null and void if you are caught. So the actual task is to bring back evidence of the research of this university sage, such as notes and samples, and of course, a full report on the situation. And added to this is that if you do discover anything that might threaten the city, one second. If you do discover anything that might threaten the city, there would be a bonus essentially for disposing of it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll ask him what kind of a time frame we have here. I still have a couple questions. You're to bring back evidence. Okay. Really a basic stealth mission? We can do this in our sleep, Broody. Hell, do you even need the full group to get this done? Ignoring Quadri, I say. So what kind of a time frame are we looking at here?
So he'll answer both questions. In terms of time frame, he says that the university considers this a semi-critical contract to be done within 3 days. And he goes on to say that thankfully the job does not require professional levels of stealth, as the laboratory that this sage occupies is located off the main campus in the wooded area north of the university. So it's not actually on like the building university, it's in the woods behind the university.
Okay.
The lab is of course warded by living roots and brambles like many druid groves, and you may find resistance to your presence. However, if you proceed after dusk, you should face little to no peopled resistance.
Who is allowed to come and go to this lab? Quadri says.
Okay, I just put basically what I said in little brackets there.
Mm-hmm.
Who is allowed to come and go to this lab? Let me think about that, and then he'll say a response.
Mm-hmm.
The professor himself, of course, as well as any research assistants he may have required over time.
Oh man, this would be such a good mission to have Chris on. Damn it. Okay. And I'm going to assume or ask what resources we have in lieu of the university. I'm assuming that we have their full cooperation.
Yes, they do have to pretend to charge you with trespassing if you are caught, however. So that's a little bit of a complication, as they don't want the professor, the sage, to know that the university is paying for his investigation.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'll ask if we can get. I'm assuming that this kind of university would have a similar identification system to like actual student IDs they have in the real world. I'm going to ask if we can get temporary IDs, like fake IDs that are obviously made in the real thing, so they'll look legit. That wouldn't be able to be, since they wouldn't be able to be traced back to the school, we can just say that we forged them. But that would help us get on and off of grounds a little bit easier.
The Baron says that unlike the building proper, so the Margrave University proper, this particular laboratory zone is more like a druid grove. So only the sage himself has given people essentially the permission to enter via a magical enchantment on their bodies. So obviously he already mentioned that surrounding the laboratory is basically a bramble patch, and they bring in their own supplies. They don't stay the night. The research assistants and the professor enter about 8 in the morning and leave about 7 at night.
Quadri also had said, I mean, listen, if we're up to me, we'd go in and absolutely obliterate the place. However, you obviously just want information and you want no traces. So our best bet would be find an assistant and use that as our in. I would have to agree.